Two men who operated a church in Hamilton where marijuana was sold as a sacrament are now serving prison sentences.
Michael Baldasaro was sentenced to 2 years in jail, while Walter Tucker will spend 1 year behind bars in connection with selling marijuana at the Church of the Universe. In handing down his ruling, the judge called the operation a marijuana convenience store that operates for profit like a Prohibition-era speakeasy, but disguised as a church. Baldasaro and Tucker maintain that God tells them to smoke marijuana and pass joints to their Church of the Universe parishioners. The case of the two men who also lived in the church is significant because a residence was seized under the drug law. Police say it sends the message that if you're going to carry on trafficking in drugs and growing drugs on your premises or residence, it can be forfeited.
Now, the ruling has drawn criticism from marijuana advocates and praise from those who want the drug laws upheld. Among them, Joseph Ben-Ami, the president and CEO of the Canadian Centre for Policy Studies. He joins us in Ottawa. Well, here in studio is Alison Myrden, a medical marijuana user and spokesperson for Law Enforcement Against Prohibition, and Wayne Phillips, who's a brother, hang on Wayne, a brother in the Church of the Universe.
Yes.
Alison, why are you so upset with this ruling?
Because I think it's a complete and total injustice for all Canadians. These Reverend brothers have done nothing but choose a sacrament similar to what the Pope chose in wine.
Right,
and
the Pope didn't charge, he didn't charge his faithful, his followers, to drink the wine, and these gentlemen charged people to, in fact, made profits from the selling of marijuana.
Of course they do, but that's prohibition though, Mark, and that's what I fight as well. No drugs should be legal, or all drugs should be legalized and regulated so this doesn't happen. People shouldn't be selling drugs, you're right, but it's prohibition that causes this and nothing else. So let's not blame the people here.
Brother Wayne, was the judge wrong when he called your place of worship a marijuana convenience store?
Absolutely. It's
Why?
a church.
How? I've been to your church. I've sat at the kitchen table with Brother Walter and Brother Michael, and there wasn't a lot of religion going on.
Have you ever sat in with Rastafarians? People that walk the Rastafarian path? You wouldn't see the accoutrements of altars and icons and.
But what distinguishes your religion from that of a person who is simply smoking marijuana and selling marijuana?
Well,
they're using it as sacrament.
Wait. Let Brother Wayne answer
It's
this.
sacrament. And anybody that knows me and wants to sit down and smoke and talk with me about it, I'll explain it to them.
Well, we can't do that on this show, Brother Wayne.
I didn't. And I didn't bring a Bible with me,
okay.
But it's all part. It's all part of,
Got it.
when you reference God, and things, you're not breaking into homes. You're not beating up on people. You're not.
Okay, let me bring Joseph Ben-Ami into this conversation. It would seem, Joseph, recent polls indicate most Canadians are not supportive of taking a hard line on marijuana. Do you think this ruling runs counter to changing community standards on pot?
Yeah, frankly, Mark, I don't really care what community standards or the polls say about it. Marijuana usage, it's a light drug for sure, but it's also a gateway drug. People who get into the more serious drugs, crack cocaine, and that almost all come from first using marijuana.
Well, you could say the same thing about beer, though, also, Joseph. You could say that beer is a gateway drug.
Well, hang on. No. Well, you can, but, we're having a big problem in this city right now with a debate over harm reduction. We have a situation where AIDS infections, Hep C infection is almost epidemic in the drug-using community. We could try to draw a comparison between alcohol use, and alcohol can be abused like any other drug. But the fact is that we don't transmit HIV and we don't transmit hepatitis C virus.
Hang on, Joseph. You're talking about marijuana. I know these gentlemen, and I'll be very honest with you, I was really sad when I heard that they got jail time because they are institutions in this community. They are harmless. And I was surprised, actually, that the courts took such a tough stand on them. If it is true, hang on, Joseph. If it is true that they simply sold small amounts, $20, $30 worth of marijuana, and there were no hard drugs. If that's the case, do you really think that this is a valid sentence that was given to them?
I'm a little concerned.
I absolutely do. What we've seen. What we've seen in the case of other crimes that are more serious in the United States in particular, where different strategies have been used, is that when you take a hard line on the small stuff, the vandalism, the graffiti, that it's the big stuff later on that the rates fall precipitously. These are gateway behaviors. They're gateway drugs. And,
he's 76.
And so,
when is he going to become a heroin addict? I mean, we're
Exactly.
talking about older guys.
We're not talking. We're not talking about whether he's going to be.
We are not selling drugs. It is a sacrament. We're sharing it among each other.
But you're not sharing it. You're sharing it at a cost.
Sharing it at a cost, but we're sharing it. It's the thing that's prohibition that's causing that.
No, you can give it away.
That's ridiculous.
Hang on,
Right, you
can
can donate
give it away.
it. You can give it away. Why would you make
Well,
a
how do
profit?
you know some of us don't?
Well, obviously they wouldn't be in jail if they were giving it away. They're in jail because they sold it for a profit.
And they
which
sold
you're
it
not
to an
allowed
undercover
do.
police
It's called drug
officer.
trafficking.
Yeah, can I just jump in here and say something about this argument about prohibition? That's just absurd. The fact is that there are many illegal drugs that are sold on the street. There's a tremendous crime racket in legal drugs. Just because you regulate something and make it a legal drug, quote unquote, doesn't mean that it. Well, then you just don't know what you're talking about.
Well, hang on a second, Alison. Hang on.
Pharmacies are broken into all. Pharmacies are broken into all the time. There are illegal painkillers that are stolen and then sold on the street. These are legal drugs. They're perfectly regulated,
Joseph, wait,
etc.
let's get back to marijuana.
Let's bring
Alison, go
Alison.
ahead. Go ahead.
I just want to explain that we're talking about hard drugs right now, and what I want to say is that only a very small percentage of the population use hard drugs, no matter how you look at it. In the last 100 years, it has never changed. There's only been as much as 2% of the population that choose illicit hard drugs. People like myself and Reverend Brother Phillips, who choose marijuana as sacrament or as medicine or as social inebriant, have rights here too, and we are trying to say that if we legalized and regulated these drugs, that there would be no problems, that prohibition is the cause of most of these problems and the reason why the Reverend Brothers were arrested at all.
That's just demonstrably wrong.
No, it's not.
Prohibition does not cause this. It's a myth.
No, it isn't.
As I said, there are many, many drugs. Look, I'm all for medicinal marijuana. Let's have Health Canada.
From prohibition is organized crime.
Sorry, I wanted Joseph, please continue.
Yeah, I'm all for medicinal marijuana. Let's have Health Canada study it. Let's make sure that it's properly regulated. Make sure that the product is produced in controlled environments, prescribed by doctors, and dispensed by licensed
and what if people wanted to
pharmacists.
grow their own, Joseph? How do you feel
and
about
what you're
that?
saying is, and what you're. Well, listen, that's a different topic.
No,
what
it's
you're
not.
saying,
No, it's
what
not at
you're
all.
saying is, but what you said that the reason that they have to grow it is because of prohibition. I'm saying, so fine,
The reason they have
make
to
it
sell
legal,
it is
make it
because of
regulated,
prohibition.
and are you going to?
All right,
are you
folks.
going?
We're out of time.
Well, you're not selling it.
I don't
You're
agree
not
with you,
selling it like
Joseph.
this
You
in the
need to get
church because of
educated.
prohibition.
We'll all agree to disagree on this one. Boy,
Beautiful.
that's quite a interesting
Mark.
topic.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks very much to Brother Wayne Phillips, Alison Myrden, Joseph Benami. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.